Apa ini? Udah?
Udah.
Halo. Salam dari Cah Ndesa. Salam dari Cah Ndesa. Hari ini silau agak sini. Itu nggak apa-apa, nanti keliatin lagi. Kita lagi ada masih di Bendigo, dan tepatnya kita di Central Deborah Gold Mine. Kita udah pernah bikin video tentang gold mine sebelumnya, tapi itu di Ballarat. Bendigo ternyata punya satu museum khusus atau tour juga, tour guided gitu, yang didedikasikan bagaimana proses penambangan di zaman gold rush Australia tahun 1800-an. Dan ini kalau kemarin kan kalau di Ballarat tuh kota ya, lebih ke kota yang gimana sih suasana kota zaman gold rush itu gitu. Kalau di sini kita masuk ke tambangnya, gimana cara nambangnya, bahkan nanti kita masuk ke bawah tanah juga. Makanya kita disuruh bawa jaket karena katanya agak dingin. Dan ini dia modelnya tuh karena dia tour modelnya, jadi nggak bisa sembarangan masuknya. Jadi ada 3 jadwal tour untuk hari ini, itu jam 10, jam 12, sama jam 2. Dan kita ngambil yang jam 10 pagi. Ini kita setengah 10 karena harus datang 15 menit sebelum mulai tour. Jadi mungkin untuk briefing dan lain-lain. Yuk kita cek serunya Central Deborah Gold Mining di Bendigo, Victoria, Australia. Cus. Ini suasana luarnya, dan tuh kita bisa masuk ke 61 meter, 85 meter, sampai 228 meter. Kita ngambil yang 61. Belum pengalaman soalnya. Tram stop. Lucu ya. Ada tempat tramnya, karena zaman dulu kan ya. Habis nambang, bahannya di tramnya pun jadul masih. Kita lihat yuk, ini logo. Yuk. Jangan-jangan cuma kita yang ini. Udah Senin pagi. Tramnya gede banget. Oke, kita udah masuk di tempatnya. Tadi suruh pakai masker ya?
Iya.
Oke. Harus pakai masker nanti ketika turun ke tambang. Kita masih nunggu jam 10, tapi bisa lihat-lihat di sekitar sini dulu dan lihat tempatnya. Jadi kayak terowongan tambang gitu, ada tracknya, bisa ya. Dan nanti ada di pintu masuk ada aksesoris. Aksesoris yang bisa dibeli, souvenir gitu, ada sendok, ada emas-emasan gitu. Lucu. Yuk cek.
My name's Zoe. I'm going to be your guide. I'm going to take you guys down to level 2 of our gold mine today. We're just going down 61 metres on this tour, one of the higher up levels of this mine, nice and shallow sort of section we're going to today. This mine has 17 different levels to it. There's another 15 sections of the mine underneath what we're going to look at today, so we're going to stay fairly high up today. Right? Before we get down underground, have a quick look at this as well. This is the old original way to get in and out of this gold mine. We're not going to use this one today, so if you don't like the look of this one, don't worry too much. Take a big breath out and relax. We'll be going in a different lift. Any of the 17 levels of this mine. So it was a very busy little system. Each one of these cages will take up to 4 people at a time. 4 people in there is pretty cozy. It's shoulder to shoulder and front to front with another miner. So it's a very snug fit. And it's also a pretty fast ride back in the old days too, because in a mine like this, time is money. Light there for me. Just stop at the corner. Stay on your head properly the whole way around. Okay, if I see anybody taking it off, I will remind you once to put it back on. If I have to keep telling you, that person must leave the tour. I don't really want to kick someone else off this week for not wearing a helmet and following the safety rules. So please keep them on, okay? Very important part of our mine tour.
Wih, canggih. Tombolnya mana ya? Ini merah nih. Banyak kan?
Alright, now this lift starts and stops with a little bit of a jump. Makes a bit of noise, that's all normal. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Level 17 is 411 feet. I'll tell you a bit more about that. Alright, so find a spot just by the doors here, watch your step, and leave a little gap for me to get through the front door. Okay?
Alright.
Come through.
Nggak bisa ngerekam juga. Lihat banget.
Nanti yang di atas aja.
Iya.
Cool. So in front of us is the same old original mine shaft we were looking at on the surface. Same view you had before, just a little bit lower. Okay, exactly the same point of view. In the two middle compartments here, this is where our cages move up and down to all those 17 different levels of this mine. Room like this one. This one's pretty good. It's very fancy. Here you get the seats and everything, right? Now those of you sitting along the side here, you've probably already noticed the seats aren't really very comfortable, are they?
No.
No. They're not too bad. Not too bad for the little ones. For the big kids like me, they're not that great. And I know, you don't have to be polite about it. They're crap. You see these metal things poking out of the wall with a little hole in them. Hundreds and hundreds of them all throughout the mine. These are a more modern thing. These are part of our safety system, part of our ground support system, and it helps make the rock a lot stronger, a lot safer, a lot more stable than it would be just by itself. Right? The rock here in Bendigo is already really good. All of this grey stone that you'll see a lot of on this tour is all anywhere from about 6 to 9 times harder than concrete, just by itself. Right? So it's already pretty good. It's already very safe ground that we have here in Bendigo. And that's a good thing because the miners can dig a lot of tunnels underground, they can afford to take out a lot of rock, and it's still really solid. So this next part that we're going to have a look at is a very exciting part of a gold mine tour. It's usually a bit of a highlight on a gold mine tour. Could say something good. What you'll be looking at is pretty small stuff though, so you will need to keep your eyes peeled a bit, look pretty closely. And I've got a lot of information to squeeze in for you in this few minutes, so listen really closely, okay? As you come around, you'll see 3 windows on your right-hand side lit up. That's what we want to be able to see. So sort of shuffle around, fill in all the gaps and get nice and cozy next to each other so you can all get a good view. All right, so here in Bendigo, we have 3 main kinds of rock. Sandstone and slate is most of the grey stuff. That's all rubbish. There's no gold in any of the grey rocks. Right? Even if you see something that looks a bit cool, looks a bit shiny looking, looks a bit yellow, it's not real gold if it's in the grey stones, right? It's all rubbish. It's a very important thing for the miners to know right from the start. The other kind of rock we find a lot of here is the white stones coming through. This is called quartz, and that is the only type of rock you might find gold in, right? So that's what we're looking for. This was a quartz mine, and hopefully they'd be able to find a big long line of that called a reef, dig those pieces out and send them up for processing. They'd smash them down into like a sand, and hopefully there's enough gold in that sand to make a bit of profit. Long can be really, really hard to tell the difference particularly back in the 1800s for the miners. So because the rock here in Bendigo is super strong stuff, really hard, if you try to dig through that with a pickaxe or a shovel, like you might have seen in other kinds of movies or other kinds of mining, you're not really going to get anywhere, right? It's way too strong to do it that way. So the only way to break through it, dig a tunnel like these ones, is drill holes into the rock first, usually about 1 metre to about 2 metres deep. Fill the holes up with explosives and blow it up into smaller pieces. So she's quite old now. They started using machine drilling methods like these ones here in the Bendigo fields in these mines in the 1870s. So this one's really early days, from 1888. These ones pretty much just bash into the rock in front, trying to punch a hole over time. That will chip away a little bit of the rock each time, and you've got poor old apprentice up the end there, twisting it around every few hits, making a nice round hole for them.
Jangan beratin ke kamu.
Sorry.
All right, ready? All of your holes into the rock, you get to my favourite part of mining. Last job of the day, and you get to blow some stuff up. Cover your ears, everyone. It's up to you. Ready? Way to do it, and you would do it by hand with a shovel. A lot of muscle. So you would both pick up a shovel and start shoveling the rock by hand into an ore truck like this, into one of these boxes. Each one of these trucks will hold about 500 kilos, about half a ton. You and your friend with a shovel each have around 16,000 kilos to do for the day, 16 tons. Or if you do the maths, about 32 loads. This one. We never had one. The smaller companies like Deborah never had one of these in the earlier days. They were super expensive. All the rock that was moved here at Deborah, all 11 kilometres of tunnels, it was all done by hand with a shovel. If you are lucky and you have one of these, it scoops the rock up from the front or on the sides, scoops it up, drives the whole thing back this way, dumps it in the box behind it, and fills up one of those in about a minute. That's like really quick. The bad news is, for the younger or less experienced miner of the pair, one of you would still have to push that all the way back home. It only puts the rocks in there for you, and then you still have to push it the K or so back to the mine shaft. So
lihat ada bebek nyaring tadi. Wow, kemana kita? Yuk, kita lihat-lihat. Oh, ada apa? Nih, gede banget kan? Wow, gila. Coba diputar. Set, gede banget ya lihatnya. Sini, nanti baru museum, baru ke atas. Sini dulu, bentar. Ini apa ya? Oh, ada tulisannya. Wow. KM lokal emas. Wow, look at the size of the piston. Nggak tahu buat apa, cuman kayaknya ngancurin batu nggak sih? Wih, udah diikat tuh. Serius, panning.
Back in the 1850s, the easiest way to find gold was to pan for it in the Bendigo Creek. Here is a step-by-step guide on how to pan for
Step
gold.
by step.
Take a gold pan, roll up your sleeves and pick a trough to pan in. Hold the pan with the ridges facing away from you. Scoop up some sand from the bottom of the trough, about 3/4 of a pan full. Gold is heavy, so dig as deep as you can. Swish the pan around in the water to wash the top layer of sand and stones off. This works all of the gold to the bottom of the pan. To find gold. Put a small amount of water in the pan, tilt it towards you and swirl it around so that the water makes waves around the pan. As the sand washes away from the top of the pan, the gold will be left behind. To pick up the gold, use a dry finger to which the gold should stick.
Ada museum juga.
Gold. The golden era. Bendigo, a city built of gold and the rush to discover its hidden treasure. Gold! Ah, you beauty! Gold!
Replikanya masih berfungsi.
On you. We get right into the Twitter.
Coba. $4. Udah, sweet. $2.000. Hah? House? $2.000 house?
Shit, cuma 10 pounds. Weekly wage-nya 22 doang.
Iya sih, tapi 2.000 loh. Oh, mobil 300.
What was it like in the old days, around the late 40s, to work underground, drilling and firing explosives?
Tipikal rumah. Oh, so shame. Oh my god, gede banget. By the way, kita bisa ke atas tower. Yuk kita nyobain ke atas. Ini berapa lantai ya? 10? Three-point contact. Bendigo.
Tadi kita 3 kali lebih dalam daripada ini.
Iya, dan ini tinggi banget masih di atas tuh. Jadi 3 kali bangunan ini kita ke bawah tanah. Kita bisa ngeliat Bendigo sekeliling 360. Dan ini tadi yang teman-teman juga udah lihat, ini lift yang dipakai sampai ke bawah tanah 400 meter. Nah. Di atas ini ada trek, mungkin buat bawa ini ya, batu-batuannya yang diproses. Masih bisa naik lagi sebenarnya, cuma kita nggak boleh sampai atas banget.
Merinding gimana?
Tinggi banget tapi emang. Honey, what? Kamu kenapa teriak tapi? Udah nyampe. Tingginya. Itu museum yang tadi. Kita bisa. Tinggi banget. Oh wow, yang tinggi banget.
Ini yang di bawah tuh udah ada